Greetings all, this is Josh from Palo Alto Networks, and I just wanted to give you a quick walkthrough of a demonstration that I created relating to PPSM, or Ports, Protocols, and Service Management. In this demo, what I'm going to do is trigger an incident within XSOAR based off a ServiceNow ticket that has a set of predefined fields. If I open up my incident, you can see I've got some basic information defined that would be applicable to a firewall rule. As you can see, the source subnet, the destination that we're going to, any ports and protocols that are required, and the requested application name. Now, rather than focusing on a traditional port and protocol based firewall, we're going to leverage Palo Alto's App ID functionality. So what you'll see in this demo is that the XSOAR is going to look for applications that match this port and protocol and provide an operator the ability to select which applications are relevant to the firewall rule before updating it. I've got a demo instance of the firewall here. I'm going to give it a quick refresh just so you can see that there are no rules besides a demo one that I've got created. With that, I'm going to move over to my XSOAR instance. I'm going to look at the incidents tab. And as you can see, I've already got the incident ingested, so we don't have to wait for it. So I'm going to click into it. And what you're going to notice is there's some pre-populated information. So I created these custom incident fields that pull that information directly from the ServiceNow ticket, so it's available to the operator. If I click over onto the work plan, the playbook is already executing, and I'm going to turn off follow just so I can give you a quick understanding of the logic. I have this strip subnet CIDR in here because when I get down to the question phase, I can't apply multiple filters to multiple fields, so it was just easier to do this to place the data into context. So now I just have the raw subnet that would be applied to a firewall object. I'm going to check to see if an app ID list already exists within XSOAR, and if so, delete it, because I'm going to be creating a fresh copy down below with information pulled from my local firewall. I'm deleting the file context key because this playbook gets pretty large. There's 4,800 applications, I think, right around there that get pulled back. So the data set is pretty big. So getting rid of that helps improve performance within XSOAR. Then I'm going to go through and run a script that finds the matching IDs based on the ports and protocol that were specified in the ticket. In this case, it's going to be TCP port 80 and 443. And now you can see XSOAR is prompting me for action. So XSOAR has already gone through and matched the list that it retrieved from the firewall against any application IDs that had ports 80 and 443 using TCP defined. In this case, I'm just going to select some random ones, even though the incident said GitHub. Just for demo purposes, it really doesn't matter. So I'm going to select these applications. I'm going to go ahead and submit that. And now XSOAR is going to prompt me for approval to actually go through the creation process on the firewall to create the rule that has those app IDs tied to it. Now, I've pre-populated some of this information in terms of the source and destination zones just because it's just a demo, but you could easily pull that information in from the firewall itself and make that selectable. You can see that it displays the application IDs that are going to be added to the firewall rule. Now, one thing to note for this demo, it doesn't take into account dependencies, although that logic could easily be built in because that's information that's returned from the list applications automation script that's available in the PAN-OS integration. So right now I'm going to go ahead and submit this and tell XSOAR to go ahead and create these address objects and the rule. So that's submitted. Approval is received. It's going through and it's getting the current date time because it's going to append that to the address objects in the firewall rule. So that way you know who approved the change and at what date time that change was approved. So now the firewall rule has been created. And if I move back over to the demo firewall, I'll give this a refresh. And you can see it's been tagged as XSOAR created. There's the new rule with the subnet range. And here are the different applications that I selected during the incident process. If I look over at the Objects tab, You can see it created the source and destination objects that would then be tied to that rule. Again, focusing on the ability to standardize how these entries are created in the firewall to ease management when it comes to looking at possibly hundreds or thousands of address objects. And now all that would be required from the analyst is to commit the change. Again, that's something that could be easily implemented in the playbook. You could add another conditional there to confirm with the operator whether or not they want to commit these changes, or if they just want them staged for a later commit. And with that, that concludes the demo, and I hope you have found this useful. Thank you.